and magic. As I stood perusing the dusty old volumes, the lights suddenly flickered, dimmed, and went out. At the same time, the door swung slowly shut. Standing there in the gloom, a faint feeling of fear crept over me. "It's just the wind," I said out loud, trying to reassure myself. "And these bloody electrics have got to be sorted out." I crossed to the door. It opened easily enough, and passing back into the hallway, the lights came on full and bright. I sat down at the hall table and thought for a while. Flickering lights and the door closing of its own accord could easily be explained. The storm outside was severe, the power supply unreliable, and the house was not exactly draft-proof. I wasn't ready just yet to put these things down to ghostly causes, despite the building's history. I flicked idly through the pile of magazines and papers that cluttered the tabletop. Underneath them were some bills and receipts. One caught my attention. Sussex Electrical, it read, and was dated about a year ago. This was a lucky coincidence. A call to the owners to check it was okay to get the firm in would be top of my to-do list. Hopefully the local roads wouldn't be too snowbound, and they could come and check the place out. I decided to go over the rest of the house, and slowly climbed the winding staircase to the first floor, opening a door at random. I peeked inside. It was furnished in the same dated style as the library, and didn't look very inviting. The top level was similar, and after some thought I settled on a large room with a decent enough bed to use for my stay in this eerie old pile. It was at the rear of the hall, and the view from the windows was impressive. The park climbed gradually up until it reached the boundary of the dense forest. Everywhere was now thickly covered with snow, and the trees swayed wildly in the blustery wind, which I could faintly hear roaring through the branches. A loud thump made me start and turn around sharply to stare out the door, which stood ajar. Venturing onto the landing, I looked up and down the corridor, but nothing was to be seen. An odd effect now occurred. As I stared down the long passage, it seemed to lengthen and grow darker, and my eyes found it difficult to focus with any clarity. Getting tired, I thought, and with a shudder returned to the bedroom window. From the corner of my eye, I caught a movement at the edge of the wood, and thought I saw a dark figure half hidden among the trees. At the same time, I heard the sound on the landing once more, and averted my gaze. When I looked again, the figure was gone, if it had even been there at all. The place was starting to make me jumpy and play with my imagination, and the surroundings were creepy enough to invite the unwanted thoughts that were forming in my mind. A coffee and a smoke were needed, so I descended to the ground floor, stopping on the way down twice to listen, but heard nothing more. The kitchen was bright and cheap.